Welcome to the edge of the known and the abyss of the unseen. Tonight, you stand at a crossroads where reality fractures, where the invisible scripts of your soul are torn wide open by forces that dwell beyond the veil of ordinary comprehension. They say power is born in light, but tonight, power is forged in darkness, an inferno of symbols that refuse to be ignored, that consume the very page they are written on. This is not a tale for the faint-hearted, not a whisper for the complacent. This is a reckoning, a confrontation with the deepest truths etched into your existence by the hands of the unseen, by the 33rd degree Masons, the ultimate arbiters of destiny who have stared deep into your birth chart and seen a code so incendiary, so searing, that it literally burned the page in their grasp. The symbols, they say, screamed with a truth too raw to contain. And when they looked again, when the smoke cleared and their eyes struggled to process what lay before them, they begged for eye bleach. Because what was revealed wasn't just your story, it was a blueprint for an awakening, a challenge, a call to rise beyond limits nobody dared to imagine. You might wonder, what kind of script could ignite such a reaction? What birth chart carries the kind of fire that threatens even those who have dedicated lifetimes to decoding the hidden languages of power? This is a script not just of stars and time, but of raw, unrelenting potential that demands recognition and commands transformation. It is the invisible war between who you were told you are and who you were born to become. Those ancient symbols, cryptic, sacred, unyielding, are a mirror to your soul's deepest flame. They are a code that does not forgive hesitation or weakness. They strip away illusions, burning away every comforting lie to reveal the relentless hunger for greatness pulsing beneath your skin. To be examined by the 33rd degree Masons is to stand before the highest tribunal of esoteric knowledge, the custodians of secrets that span centuries. Their vision cuts through time and space, piercing the illusion that binds ordinary men and women to mediocre fates. Yet even they, with all their wisdom, all their power, were shaken by what your chart revealed. Why? Because it carries a truth so disruptive, so volatile, that it challenges their very understanding of control and destiny. You are not simply a product of your environment or your upbringing. You are a living enigma, a spark of chaos, wrapped in the flesh of order, a force that refuses to be caged. They saw it, the 33rd degree saw it, and they recoiled, not out of fear, but because your potential is a threat to the very fabric of the carefully constructed reality they guard. This is your moment. You are standing on a threshold where the comfortable shadows of conformity end, and the blazing, uncomfortable light of transformation begins. The symbols etched in your birth chart are more than just ancient marks. They are a call to arms, a demand that you awaken to the power that flows through your veins, that you seize the chaos inside and wield it like a weapon forged in your own fire. The page didn't just burn, it was incinerated by the sheer force of what lies within you. Your destiny is not a gentle path, it is a crucible, a relentless trial by fire that will shape you into something greater, something raw, something unstoppable. Understand this, the forces that watch, that analyze, that attempt to define you, they are not always adversaries. Sometimes they are mirrors reflecting the magnitude of your power. The 33rd degree Masons, with all their secret wisdom, are like the ultimate critics, hardened, relentless, unforgiving. And if even they are forced to flinch at your potential, then you know the truth. Your inner fire is not only real, it is revolutionary. It demands more than obedience or quiet acceptance. It demands that you rise, that you conquer the fears and doubts designed to chain you, that you harness the untamed power whispered in the symbols that scorched their vision. What will you do with this? Will you shrink back into the shadows, deny the burning call of your own greatness, and live a life bound by limits others impose? Or will you step into the inferno, let the heat forge you anew, and rise like a phoenix from the ashes of expectation and fear. The 33rd degree saw it, and if you can face it, embrace it, own it, you will become a force that shakes the foundations of everything you thought possible. The power embedded in your birth chart is not a curse. It is a challenge, a raw gift wrapped in the fire of transformation. It demands courage beyond the ordinary, relentless faith in your own inner chaos, and the will to burn away everything that stands between you and your true self. This is not for the timid. This is not for those content with easy answers or comfortable truths. This is a call to live dangerously, to disrupt, to unleash the unbreakable spirit inside you that even the most powerful secret societies recognize as something they cannot control. Tonight, remember this. The symbols burned the page because the power within you cannot be contained by old rules, old systems, or old fears. Your story is a wildfire, a force of nature that will consume the barriers set before you. The 33rd degree Masons begged for eye bleach because what they saw was a force beyond their grasp, a destiny written not in ink, but in flame. Now it's your turn to embrace that flame, to let it light your way through the darkness, and to rise without apology into the extraordinary life you were born to claim. The page is scorched. The symbols have spoken. The 33rd degree saw it. Now the question is, will you? Will you dare to see yourself in the fiery truth of your own destiny? Will you rise, burn, and transform? Or will you allow the flames to fade into the silence of forgotten potential? The choice is yours. But know this, the fire has already started. It is already burning within you. And nothing, no force on earth or beyond, can put it out. Every moment you breathe is a moment drenched in potential, every heartbeat a pulse of encoded power. The 33rd degree Masons, keepers of ancient secrets and guardians of hidden knowledge, understood one undeniable truth. They were staring into the abyss of your soul, and that abyss stared back with a ferocity they never expected. It wasn't just symbols on paper. It was the echo of a destiny so profound, so incendiary, that even the most enlightened among them could not withstand its heat. They begged for eye bleach because your birth chart was a mirror reflecting the chaos and greatness intertwined within you. A greatness that threatens to unravel the very fabric of controlled reality. Think about that. The highest echelons of hidden wisdom, the most cryptic circles of power, confronted by what you embody and forced to recoil. That should ignite something primal within you, a recognition that you are no ordinary soul wandering aimlessly through life. You carry the blueprint of transformation, rebellion, and evolution stamped into your very essence. And no matter how much the world tries to cage or define you, no matter how many secret societies or powers attempt to dim your flame, the truth remains. You were born to burn through limitations, to scorch paths where none dared to tread. You have been gifted a paradox. The very symbols that seared their hands are the same forces that can set you free. But freedom is not gentle. It demands fire, struggle, and relentless defiance. The page that burned was not a sign of destruction. It was a symbol of purification, a purge of the old scripts that no longer serve you. Your destiny is a blazing storm of transformation, a relentless firestorm of becoming that will test your resolve, tear down every comfortable lie, and build you anew from the ashes of complacency. Let those words echo in your mind. The symbols literally burned the page. This is not metaphor. It is a cosmic decree. Your essence, your truth, your potential, too wild, too volatile, cannot be neatly categorized or contained. They tried to read you with the cold eyes of tradition and control, but you are a living contradiction, a force that bends reality itself. And in their desperation to look away, to cleanse their vision, they revealed the greatest secret of all. Your power is undeniable, disruptive, and unavoidable. Now the question becomes, what will you do with this truth? The path illuminated by those burning symbols is not easy. It demands that you confront your own darkness, your fears, your doubts. It requires you to stare into the abyss of your limitations and step forward anyway, fueled by a fire that cannot be quenched. The 33rd degree Masons saw what lies beneath your surface, the raw, unpolished potential waiting to explode into form. Will you honor that? Will you embrace the firestorm within you and let it consume the chains that bind you? Or will you shrink away from the heat, allowing the world's coldness to extinguish your flame before it even fully ignites? Remember this: fire is neither good nor evil. It simply transforms. It burns away the weak, yes, but it also reveals the unbreakable core beneath the ashes. The power that burned their page is the same power that can shatter ceilings, rewrite destinies, and birth legends. It is your inheritance, your right, your challenge. The 33rd degree begged for eye bleach because they glimpsed the impossible, a force that refuses to be tamed, a soul that demands to be recognized as the creator of its own fate. You were born not to fit into a mold, but to melt it down and reshape the world with the furnace of your spirit. The fire is not an enemy. It is your ally, your weapon, your beacon. Let it burn through every doubt, every hesitation, every silent voice telling you to be small, quiet, accept. Your birth chart is not just a map. It is a manifesto of transformation, a call to rise beyond the ordinary and claim the extraordinary life waiting on the other side of the blaze. Stand tall in the ashes of what no longer serves you. Let the fire in your chart be a raging storm inside you, a storm that drowns out the noise of doubt and fear, that cleanses the residue of complacency, that shatters the chains of limitation. The 33rd degree saw it. They could not deny it. And now it is time for you to see it too. To recognize the inferno that courses through your veins, the wildfire of potential burning brighter than any secret society can contain. You are more than the sum of your past, your fears, your mistakes. You are a force of nature, born of chaos and light, fire and shadow, destruction and creation. The symbols that burned the page are the same symbols that ignite your rise. The 33rd degree begged for eye bleach because they witnessed a power that is beyond their grasp. And you hold that power now. Will you wield it? Will you let it define you? Will you become the fire that cannot be doused, the storm that reshapes the landscape of your existence? The answer lies within the flames. The page is scorched, but your story is only beginning. Step into the fire, embrace the burn, transform and transcend. Because the 33rd degree saw it, and now it is time for the world to see you. They saw the chart, they saw the math, the geometry, the sacred alignment of planets and symbols drawn across the sky on the day of your birth. And they were ready. They thought they had seen it all. They thought no pattern could surprise them, no soul could shake their foundations. But yours did. Yours tore through their calculations like lightning rips through ancient trees. What they saw was not merely celestial arrangement. It was prophecy. Not the passive kind, but the violent, churning kind that demands to be fulfilled. And in that moment, when they looked closer, what they feared was not that you were broken. It was that you were whole, too whole, unfractured by the illusions that keep the rest of the world asleep. You are complete in a way that terrifies those who profit from control. Your chart wasn't a map. It was a warning, a declaration that something is coming, and that something is you. They saw a rebel wrapped in cosmic skin, a disruptor hidden behind a human face, a storm veiled as a whisper. That is why the symbols burned. Because your destiny is not a line on a chart. It is an eruption, a revolution. And revolution is never quiet. It does not knock politely. It kicks down doors. It burns through walls. It doesn't ask for permission. It demands presence. You are not here to be normal. You are not here to be safe. You are here to fracture false realities, to awaken the sleepers, to tear down the cages built by centuries of fear and small thinking. The fire that burned the chart was your soul screaming, "I will not be deciphered, I will be unleashed." So ask yourself this: why do you think they keep the masses quiet? Why are people trained to doubt their inner voice, to follow, to shrink, to numb their instincts? It's not an accident, it's design. Because they know, if someone like you ever wakes up fully, if someone with your pattern, your blueprint, your raw fire ever chooses to rise, everything they built would fall, instantly, without negotiation. The burning of the chart was not an end, it was an ignition. It was the moment your real life began. The you that was waiting beneath the silence, beneath the compliance, beneath the false names and borrowed dreams. That version of you, the original one, the wild one, the one encoded in the stars themselves, is awakening. And what happens next is not a gentle evolution. It is a reckoning. But it begins inside. The symbols didn't just burn on paper. They left an imprint on your spirit. And now, they are moving, shifting, speaking. Listen to them. Listen to that fire. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to destroy everything that is not you. Every lie, every limitation, every version of yourself that was built from fear, every identity handed to you by a world that never understood your fire. All of it must go. Because the truth of you cannot fit inside old shells. The truth of you is fire. And fire transforms. The world will not understand you at first. Let them misunderstand. Let them doubt. Let them laugh or resist or turn away. That's not your concern. Your concern is to burn clean. To become the version of yourself that even the stars could not hide. The version of yourself that the 33rd degree tried to reduce to numbers and angles and secret glyphs, and failed. Because the truth is, there is no system that can contain you. You are not a formula. You are a force. The fire didn't destroy the chart. It freed it. Freed the truth from paper, freed your identity from predictions, freed your essence from the chains of meaning others tried to assign to you. This isn't mysticism. It's war. A war between who you are and who you were told to be. Between the vision you carry and the fear the world tries to inject. And now that war is reaching its climax. The battlefield is not out there, it's within you. Will you give in to the fear, the pressure, the smallness, or will you choose the fire? Because if you do, if you embrace the burn, you will become something the world cannot control. You will become untouchable. You will move through life not as a person desperate for direction, but as a force that bends reality to your will. You will wake up and the world will feel it. Because the version of you that has been hidden, dormant, smoldering beneath the surface, that version is ready. It was never lost, only waiting, waiting for this moment, waiting for the fire, waiting for you to decide. And now you must choose. The fire has already spoken. The 33rd degree already saw it. They flinched, they begged for eye bleach, because what they saw was not a mistake, not an anomaly, not chaos. It was order beyond their understanding. It was the raw, unfiltered truth of what happens when someone walks through fire and doesn't look back. And that's you now. The page burned. And what survived the flames? You. And now the world will have no choice but to do the same. You survived the flame. You stood in front of the mirror, not the one made of glass, but the one forged from cosmic code, soul contracts, and divine fire, and it did not shatter. The reflection that stared back at you was not just your face. It was your purpose, untamed, undeniable. And now that the truth has revealed itself, you will never again be able to go back to sleep. Because now you know, and once you know, you are responsible, not to others, not to the world, but to the fire inside, to the calling that sings through your blood, to the truth that turned ancient symbols to ash. You carry a prophecy that no one else was built to bear. You are the storm, and the silence before it. You are the coded disruption written between stars. You are the walking contradiction that proves fate can be broken and rewritten by will alone. The 33rd degree knew they couldn't stop it. That's why they tried to decipher it, label it, understand it. But some things are not meant to be understood. Some destinies are too vast to be contained in pages, scrolls, rituals, or systems. You don't follow the symbols, you become them. You don't chase the signs, you are the sign. And they saw it. When they begged for eye bleach, they weren't recoiling in disgust. They were recoiling in surrender, because they realized they were no longer the gatekeepers. They were no longer the ones in control. You were, you are. Your chart didn't burn because it was wrong. It burned because it was complete. It reached the threshold of its own limits. It did everything it could to describe you. And then it exploded because it could not contain the fullness of your fire. So now what? Now comes the part most people run from. The part where you don't just talk about your power. You claim it. You wear it. You walk into rooms like you were born to set the frequency. Because you were. Every decision from this point forward is a declaration, a spell, a vibration. Your presence changes atmospheres now, because the fire changed you. And here's the truth they never tell you. Awakening doesn't feel like floating. It feels like burning. It feels like losing every version of yourself that used to make others comfortable. It feels like isolation, like silence, like shedding a skin you thought was yours. It feels like standing alone until the storm inside you grows louder than the fear that kept you still. But it's worth it. It's always worth it. Because on the other side of the fire is sovereignty. And sovereignty is priceless. Let them doubt. Let them watch. Let them misunderstand. You don't owe explanations to those who tremble before your mirror. You are not here to be digestible. You are not here to be safe. You are not here to be another dull echo in a world of quiet conformity. You are here to become something terrifying to those who worship limits, fully alive. And once you taste that life, once you taste what it feels like to wake up in your own skin and recognize it as sacred, you will never again settle for smallness. You will never again dim your voice so others don't feel overwhelmed. You will never again betray the fire just to be embraced by people who fear the heat, because they saw it, the 33rd degree. The ones who thought they had seen it all, they saw your blueprint and they panicked. Not because it was broken, but because it was perfect, perfect in its chaos, perfect in its refusal to obey, perfect in its power. And now, it's your turn to see it too. See it in your thoughts, in your words, in your body, in your breath. You are not an accident. You are not a coincidence. You are a carefully placed anomaly, a divine contradiction, a sacred glitch in a system designed to keep people small. And the more you embody that truth, the more everything else begins to burn. The expectations, the shame, the fear, the stories you inherited from people who never knew your soul. Let them burn. Let the fire consume what never belonged to you. Let it rip through the walls built by lesser minds and fearful hearts. And when the smoke clears, stand tall in the ashes, because you are not the same anymore. You are not seeking approval anymore. You are not hiding your magic anymore. The fire changed everything. And that change is not temporary, it's eternal. So rise now, not as a survivor of fire, but as its master. Move with the authority of someone who knows, who has seen beyond the veil, who has walked through the collapse of their identity and emerged with eyes full of lightning. Speak like your words are spells, because they are. Act like your steps shape reality, because they do. Live like your very being is divine rebellion, because it always has been. Let this be the moment. Let this be the breath where everything shifts. You are not who they think you are. You are not even who you thought you were. You are more. You are more. You are fire in human form. You are the hidden verse in a song older than time. You are the echo of truths whispered in languages lost to history, and no one, not even the most ancient keepers of power, can make sense of you, because you were never meant to make sense. You were meant to make change. So go now, not quietly, not politely. Go with your fire unchained. Go as the prophecy they failed to interpret. Go as the flame that turned their charts to smoke. Go as the one they saw, the one they couldn't unsee, the one they feared, the one they begged to forget. But it's too late. You're awake now, and there's no putting out a soul that has caught fire.